Hi there. Right, okay, we are doing this. Hi, my name is Hazel Evans and welcome to my channel. I am going to be changing my work, um, up leveling, upgrading, because essentially that's what's happening, isn't it? On the planet, in us, through us, and everywhere we are. And I really would like to bring what the wisdom of what has emerged through me over these last 5 years in particular, and bring it out and share it with you now. Now in this live, as I'm testing doing some lives, but also how I'm going to be presenting my videos, etc., is going to be changing. My podcast, of course, is going to be growing, which is really beautiful and amazing. And essentially, what I really want to share with you is the message of the next evolutionary life. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Because the world is changing. You know it. We all know it. And this is affecting everybody on different levels, whether it looks like you've had an awakening, or whether your relationship is finishing, or whether you can't stand it in your job anymore, or whatever the change is looking like to you. There is change happening, and there's big change. We see it everywhere in everything. And you know what is amazing about what is happening? There is a huge emergence and surgence energy of the uprising of the alchemical force of your soul alchemizing with your body in this lifetime. How do I know this? Because it happened so radically and deeply to me, from 2020 to 2021, that I couldn't continue how I was, because through that process, I died, let's say, a really big, prolonged ego death that I can laugh about now, because I've spent the last 4 years integrating what happened. This is why, even though I've come through to many profound teachings such as evolutionary consciousness, psychic abilities, the ability to read and sense and feel everything that's happening, let's say, like a very collective consciousness energy. And the merging not only of the timelines, but within those timelines of reality within oneself, the I, the we, and the us. And all of this is what is happening right now. And it is available for everybody. And this is evolutionary consciousness grounded in action in the body, and then living it out. And some of the miracles that have happened for me are the landing in of my innate intelligence. You might want to call it like a walk in, like how I saw one of them was a massive, massive walk in through the cracks of my broken heart, opening up to life being a whole big ceremony in itself. And reading and merging with that walk in, that soul consciousness, that innate intelligence that landed in, learning what that means, and taking time to integrate that so that the vibrations of my physical body can alchemize enough for me not to freak out when it's happening, and actually to be in union with these evolutionary energies that are presenting itself. Now, what this looks like is not just knowledge, it's not just a knowing or a channeling, even though that is part of it. There is something really intrinsically innate about what I'm talking about. Really, really deeply, it's like the deep hidden codings within the DNA have been activated. And what scientists may like to call junk DNA somehow It's not that at all. That's another way to prevent you from actually accessing and coming online. I mean, if you want to come online, what we really need to be doing right now as a humanity is activating these genius codes within our own blood and DNA and coming online, coming on board with our unique soul's intelligence. And this is what I have been grounding and working on and working through me for the last 4.5 years. Because when this happened to me, it was so profound and so sacred that I could not just jump online and start sharing it and try to commoditize it or try to convince anybody of it. This is my journey. And it's been so profound. I mean, healing from what I went through in itself, like narcissistic abusive marriage, but not just one, over a 15-year period, two. Okay. Like I am an absolute sacred warrior for love here to dare to go through that and witness myself from a conscious perspective and growing in consciousness each time through these evolutionary portals of narcissistic abuse itself. That's how I've been dealing with it. Why have I been dealing with it like that? Because I've come to know and grow that love and true love and this beautiful romantic love is available. I've always known it ever since I was a child. And somehow I've come through the whole of my life and I've never given up that childlike spirit within me. I've never sold my soul for anything outside of me. I haven't done that in that sacred heart. And this is one of the things that kept me alive, because in those moments of my breakdown 4.5 years ago, this opening up to the sacred human, the sacred life, and the coming online and the activations that came through were incredible. And actually, this is what the lockdown was for. I don't know how many people on the planet were able to receive this during that time. I suspect it wasn't very many. But due to the tragedy of my life, which now I'm starting, like, it's so tragic that there's nowhere left to go apart from seeing the ridiculousness in it. And then life just starts to merge into this oneness of comedy tragedy. Like, really? Is this happening again? And guiding myself through these radical portals of comedy and tragedy through the betrayal of the heart. So, one of the things that I need to do right now is to start sharing my voice, because I know that I'm offering you something authentic. And I really hope that you can feel my vibration, how I'm speaking, and that I do not actually have an agenda other than to help activate you. Like, if there's something that I can do that will ignite your soul within you to make you come alive, then let's do that. Like, that's really what this is about. And this is the art and mastery of one's life, of one's life. Now, also, in a way, I suppose I've been fortunate enough to never let go of the dream of art. Um, I have always lived as an artist ever since I was born, creating, drawing, dancing, singing, like, and every time I've been through difficult times, it's always helped lead me back home in a way. And so this is the work that I do with women, and I'm very selective with the men that I work with, um, because men have a slightly different journey right now in terms of accessing this evolutionary consciousness. Um, I work a lot with the women in terms of activating the true, sacred, pure, deep feminine codes vibrational codes within the body. And you will know when this happens, if it happens for you, because we will be able to sit here and you will recognize my vibration. What I often find at the moment is that my vibration is very triggering for people because because the true, pure, deep feminine just rips illusions to shreds. Like, she's like the full embodiment of all the goddesses all wrapped into one, just as much Mary Magdalene as Kali Ma, you know. And once you go beyond all of the recognitions of yourself through these archetypal energies, you really start synergizing and alchemizing with the genius of the truth of who you are. And this is where I offer my guidance and support and gifts. And it's through this space that I speak to you. Like now, I am speaking to you, and I can feel that my energy is directly coming from very deep within my heart that touches right down into my solar plexus. And this is the activation of the body, which allows us to come into new creation of our new humanity. This is not about coming up with ideas or great solutions. This is about feeling into the core truth of the humanity rising, the new human energy that's rising, that is available through the activation of your own soul codes and your DNA. Feeling into that and healing anything there that is needed, shedding those layers. Also tapping into the karmic relationships, seeing what has happened, breaking those cycles and stepping out of that and into this new reality. And until we've done that, you can only sense or glimpse a potential of a possibility of what could be available through theory or an idealization of what New Earth could be. But what I am doing is I am challenging you to say, are you ready for the journey of your lifetime? Have you done enough inner work right now to understand how the psyche works, to understand how trauma works, and how that has locked you into repeating cycles, not only in this lifetime, but in many lifetimes? Have you started investigating into that? Because if you have, those are teachings that are going to guide you out of your suffering and onto your soul path, into your golden life, this era of the new golden life. And it's a blueprint. And it's not a business plan. It's not like I've decided that I'm going to lose 20 kilos. I'm going to do this, 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 and to do it. No, it doesn't work like that, not on this level. Everything comes as a soul activation and soul guidance. And this is why I'm also so passionate about when I'm working with women to activate them not only through the wisdom teachings of this ancient yet married with the new way, but coming back to the places of creation within. Because knowing and embodying the acts of creation in itself is a core essence of the deep feminine, of the sacred feminine, of the divine feminine. So knowing and learning and embodying the processes of life, death, and rebirth is your way in to do that cleaning and healing, but it's also your way out to recreate yourself. And depending on how deep you are able to go and prepared to go and hold yourself in those spaces, depends how high you are able to go. And in this vibrational field as well, I can feel if you are spiritually bypassing or not. I can read your energies and I can tell if there's a trickster there who is wanting to avoid the energy of your own evolutionary consciousness. This is what happens when you're able to read through the dialect of the vibrations of love, let's say. And betrayal is a very, very good way to access this heart consciousness, this inner compass consciousness. And at the same time, I don't really recommend it to anybody because it's utterly destroying. It's super tragic and it's very, very painful. It's utterly, utterly painful to go through these experiences. And when I talk about my breakdown that happened 4.5 years ago, I actually look back fondly now because I can see that I was going through radical vortexes of change. And there was very few people in my life at that time. And I ended up finding myself living in a cabin on the side of a woods in the middle of South Holland. And the whole of my life just being stripped away. And when I realized that, I was like, okay, now's my chance. Now is my chance to get the healing, to get the answers that I know that I have been yearning for. And how do I hold myself in that? Well, oh my goodness. I've got like 3 people left in my life, and I can't talk to anybody who will not know what I am going through right now. So I have to do this alone. And because I'd already started learning about the power and the mastery of ceremonial life, everything came alive in me. And it was like nature was telling me all of a sudden that it was me. I was going to learn from the plants. I was going to learn from the trees. I was going to learn from the rocks. I was going to learn from my art. I was going to learn from everything. Life got, like, animism of life was activated 100%. And this was like living in a state of evolutionary consciousness, dying and rebirthing myself every single day for at least 3 months, and then an ongoing process of living in a subliminal state, let's say, of what do I want to say? It's like an altered state. That's what I want to say. In an altered state of consciousness for about 1,000 days, like, where life just became a full-on ceremony. And I was like going through the eye of the storm, like, oh my goodness. And because this truth radar had got ignited in me, it was like there was no hiding. There's no hiding even from me. But the miracle of the whole thing is that within it, because the downloads were so strong and profound, I mean, even Jeshua came into my bedroom and I was like, who is this man? Standing by my side, like this golden light on my heart. It's like, who is this man? Like, who is this? And then this feminine energy standing at my feet, which was like, Mary Magdalene. And I've been brought up in a scientific atheist household. I mean, what do you make of that? And at that time, yeah, I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating very much because of the deep purification process that I was in. And so, yeah, completely sober, completely cleaned out, like from the inside out. And here he is. Jeshua pops into my bedroom, puts his hands on my heart and says, it's okay now. It's like, wow. Okay. I can go with that because, quite frankly, there's nothing left. There's nothing left. And that's just one example of the miracle moments that I went through during this time. And the portal of the lockdown is such a key point. And it really shows the extent to which humanity has been tricked and distracted, because what was available then is actually what's happening now. Just slightly different cycle of awareness. Is this crunch point? Is this crunch point of choice ready to crack you open? Are you ready to be cracked open? Are you cracking yourself open? Can we finally crack the shell and open ourselves up to be the glorious new born creatures that we are within inside the egg? And this is what is happening right now at this Easter time. Yes, it's a resurrection energy. Yes, it's a recreation energy. And this is why, I'll talk more about the creative energies as well. And I will say that if you're not creating, there is a portal, like, lean in. You're going to get a lot of wisdom from learning how to create and learning how to alchemize ceremonial life into your everyday life, so that you are living as a walking embodiment of your, and walking the path of your own golden life, your own blueprint that is guiding you. And this is why the acts of creation are so important. So this is what's happening right now. And I can feel it with my, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, well, you probably might know already, but anyway, one of the miracles that did happen as well over 4 years ago was that I was shown that my purpose was the embodiment of the sacred feminine in its purity, and also divine union. And because I was in a separation time with the divorce at that time, I was saying to the universe, are you really kidding me? I mean, not only do I have Jesus coming into my bedroom, but I'm being shown by the universal forces of whatever they are, inside and out of me, that actually through this process of separation, my purpose was union. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? And I got angry with the universe, like, are you kidding me? Okay, well then if this is it, if this is what I am meant to do when I'm here, universe, bring me the man that I need. And I will talk more into that story because it's such a miraculous story. And this is why I'm going to start sharing teachings on relationships as well as creation, because relationships are in themselves creation ships. They are fusion points of alchemical creation. And when we can master creation, we understand that frequency that carries over into every part of your life, including your relationships. And this is why I say it's completely futile to go on these dating apps, to think that you are going to attract your soulmate through writing a list and manifesting. It might work for you, but I'm presenting you the path that I took, which I'm sure it can't just be a miracle for me, that there will be others that it will work for as well. And that is through the activation of the vibration of your own inner solar compass. You feel already the vibration of that soul who is also on a path ready to meet you. And that person quite oftentimes might not look like or appear like who you think they are at all. Because I had this vision of my purpose even before Alistair had even come into my life. And because I said to the universe, right, well, if this is my purpose, you better bring me this man. Well, a couple of weeks later, he actually came to my door. He actually came to my door in the middle of nowhere in Holland. This British man who's actually, his origins were from the town that I had previously been living in for 10 years. I mean, can you imagine? It's just miraculous. So we will share more about that, but you can also visit our website at prophecywalkers.com and our channel, which is Prophecy Walkers on YouTube. So having gone through all of that, you can imagine that I've been pretty shattered, tired and broken. And piecing myself back together has been quite a process. And this is why I have not been ready until now to start sharing who I am today. And this is how authentic I am. This is how I show up. And these are the gifts that I'm like, hey, you can do this too. You can activate this in you as well. And when you're functioning from the place of love and vibration like this, there's no discussion really about rights or wrongs. There isn't really any opinions. It's all attuning, aligning to that vibration of love. And what is amazing is that I've done this in partnership with a man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that that is possible? Coming from two narcissistic abusive marriages and now living in this sacred union partnership. I didn't design, I did actually. My soul did design it. I didn't decide that this was a divine union partnership just because it's trendy to say that, or from a um, you know, any kind of illusionary new age spiritual bypass way of living. Oh yeah, I'm living in sacred union. No, 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 no. I thought before this happened to me, I thought I knew what sacred union was or divine union was. And I thought that I was living that in my past relationship, which was considered a conscious relationship, but it wasn't at all. It was just an initiation. And it wasn't until this hit me like a bombshell in this true awakening, like this next level initiation beyond anything I could have ever imagined, where I was finally able to die before I die and be presented by, I don't know what you want to call it, God consciousness, spirit, the divine, touched by divine grace itself. That this is what my soul purpose was. And shown through that divine grace, the essence of love. And you know what? When I was hit by this energy, this divine grace, I was shown what love really was. And I wept. I wept and I wept and I wept because I realized that nobody knows how to live love. Nobody's living love. And I can say that because I was doing that too. And I've been on a journey to anchor enough of that into myself that I can stay in alignment with these energies and to be humble to that experience in which I experienced, and not just come out and say, hey, I've got an awakening, and try to commoditize off the back of that. Because if you do know ceremonial life and you know the divine laws of nature through having embodied and been initiated through these processes, you'll know that it's so sacred that you can't even talk about it. This is what I've been going through. So when I've been presented with the reality of I'm living sacred union, that in itself has taken me quite a number of years to recognize and to accept that reality and that gift that is. So it's a big journey. It's a really big journey. And what is incredible right now is that I am taking this journey with a man. And I know from what I have been through is that you can only access a certain level of evolutionary consciousness on your own. And when you come into sacred partnership with another, you unlock exponential awareness that goes beyond even what I thought I was going through during my breakdown. Working in this sacred union, I want to say Ark of the Covenant. It's like this divine reclamation of true love. Like it's beyond, it's really beyond. So I really welcome you to please like and subscribe, support not only my channel, my partner's channel, the Sacred Rainbow Warrior, and our joint channel, the Prophecy Walkers, because I realized actually just before I met my partner, I was shown that I was a rainbow warrior, And again, I didn't know anything about this, but I was shown that I was a rainbow warrior. And through my dreams, I was shouting rainbows as a defense, like this love through all of the rainbow colors, just like exuding out of my body. And just, it was like this sacred guardianship came over my body that was not allowing anything that was not love to interfere with me anymore, because my mission and my plan is so much more important than any opinions, desires, wants, or needs that the egoic human or the wounded human needs to fulfill any holes that they have in their hearts. I can't tolerate that anymore. But if you're willing to work with yourself and you're open to these energies, I can work with you. And these are the women that I'm working with right now, working on very profound, very real, sacred, ceremonial energies, and going through the initiations of clearing the vessel, the body, to become that sacred chalice, to hold those frequencies and to know how to work with them. And working with the divine laws of nature and universal consciousness in order to alchemize your own soul journey so that you are walking that path for you. And the way I speak sometimes might not be very clear to certain souls who are still thinking very logically or rationally about things. But I invite you just to surrender into taking this journey with me. I often speak in a very poetic way. I'm riding the rifts of consciousness that are waving through me so that I can speak and deliver whatever messages need to come through right now. It's like living as a channel in the every moment. Yeah, it's really like that. And of course, it's like, whoa, there's teachings and growing, like ongoing teachings all the time. But it's beautiful to be able to get this far, let's say, to be broken enough by what has happened to me that I can share a little bit of wisdom if you're up for it. That's kind of what it's like. So I'm really happy to be here, finally feeling fresh and able to restart a new reality and share more about this, because it's not just me. The fact that I'm working really truly in a sacred union partnership is really the next steps of evolutionary consciousness that I can guide you through along with my partner. And we're already doing it, sharing it with a small group of people at the moment for several years. Because like I said, I'm not bringing anything out that's not authentic. So here we are. This is the first live that I dare to do right now. Join me. There's going to be lots more beautiful things coming as I'm getting my confidence to come out again, to share again, and to say, hey, look, let's get online. Like, I've activated like enough on me, in me, through this radical awakening, deeply humbled to the core. Now we've got to take some action and share this light that is emerging, because there's a lot of confusion out there. And yeah, with me and my partner, both in union, working this way, we can take you beyond. We really can. We really can, because we've done it with ourselves and with a small group of people. And it's like, whoa, let's like, whoop, out of the matrix. Look at the matrix. Whoa, this is what I did. This is what I've been doing. That life is actually the blueprint. We're gonna flip it on its head so that now we've got this divine blueprint of your golden life that is coded from the mirror version of what you actually did in the matrix world, in the traumatized world, in the world where you've been initiating yourself through your life itself. And these are some of the keys. You have all the keys within you. It's so amazingly beautiful, profound. I didn't know how to work like this until I had my massive breakdown and I was shown from the universe, this is how you do it. I was like, okay, then I've got nothing left to lose. Let's do that. So that's what I started. And I was like, I even said to the universe, I don't know where to begin. And the universe said, well, if you don't know where to begin, just start by doing the opposite. And that was a good enough place to start for me. So now that I'm getting the confidence to speak up and to come out in absolute authenticity to this new evolutionary vibration of love consciousness that is just driving through me, if you are ready for your next level of purification and your devotion to your own soul's life, get in touch. Get in touch. I don't want anything. I feel so touched, but I don't want anything other than everybody to come out of suffering and that we come into a greater way of working together and being in harmony and peace together. And we need each other right now. We need each other. So have a beautiful day. Lots of love. I'm going to be editing my next podcast and putting that out soon. So get in touch and we'll see you soon. Lots of love and have a beautiful day. Bye for now.